Thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Network Africa on Channels Television. I'm Joke Rogers, coming to you in the next 30 minutes. Tributes continue to pour in following the death of Iran's supreme leader, Grand Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed during the ongoing conflict involving the United States and Israel. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa praises the late Jackson for being an ally to South Africa. And floods in Nairobi kill at least 25 people as police operations are ongoing to find survivors. Welcome everyone to the program. I'm Joke Rogers here in Lagos for you. We begin today in Iran, where tributes have been pouring in following the death of Iran's supreme leader, Grand Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who was killed during the ongoing conflict involving the United States and Israel. The first strikes on Iran by the US and Israel happened almost 2 weeks ago after Iran seemed defiant about stopping its nuclear ambition. The US President Donald Trump had warned of consequences against Iran if it did not stop its uranium enrichment. But strikes continued for almost a week against Iran's facilities, petroleum, oil facilities, energy facilities, and a whole lot more. Let's take a listen as those tributes continue to pour in.
This aggression occurred at a time when the Islamic Republic of Iran was once again engaged in negotiations with the US to prove to everybody that it is not pursuing nuclear weapons. A military attack in the midst of diplomatic effort is a betrayal to dialogue and the foundations of peaceful dispute resolution. Iran, based on the religious fatwa of the very person who was assassinated, has not pursued nuclear weapons. Iran has had the highest level of cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency. Continuous inspections of Iran's nuclear facilities were ongoing until the military aggression in June 2025. The consequences of this aggression extend far beyond the political sphere. In the initial hours of the attacks by the child-killing regimes of the United States and Israel, civilian areas, including schools, were deliberately targeted. For example, in the city of Mina, you saw the pictures. In southern Iran, an all-girls elementary school was almost completely destroyed, resulting in the death of nearly 170 innocent children.
Meanwhile, overnight strikes hit several oil storage facilities in and around the Iranian capital. A thick black cloud hung over the city as smoke billowed from targeted depots, with some vehicles reportedly covered in dark residue described by residents as black rain. The Israeli military says the strikes targeted fuel storage complexes used by Iranian armed forces, describing the operation as part of a broader effort to weaken Iran's military infrastructure. Iranian officials say at least 3 oil depots in Kohak, Saran and Karaj areas were struck. The Iranian Red Crescent has warned residents to remain indoors amid fears of a toxic fallout. We'll get more on the strikes on Iran and its consequences later, but protesters have taken to the streets of Tunis to condemn U.S. and Israeli military strikes on Iran. Around 100 demonstrators gathered in the Tunisian capital, waving Iranian and Palestinian flags while holding portraits of the late Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. The rally forms part of a wave of demonstrations held in several cities worldwide in response to the conflict, including protests outside the White House in Washington, as well as San Francisco and Mexico City. Participants in Tunis voiced support for the Iranian people and called for an end to the military campaign. We'll get more reactions later, but elsewhere, at least 23 people are reported to have died after torrential rains triggered flash floods across the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. Authorities say heavy downpours late Friday turned major streets into rivers, flooding homes and businesses and trapping residents in several parts of the city. Rescue teams have continued search and recovery operations, pulling bodies from flooded areas while helping residents stranded in submerged neighborhoods. Damaged roads and infrastructure has been reported across Nairobi, from informal settlements to commercial districts such as Parklands, South Africa. Well, South Africa has begun a nationwide vaccination campaign to contain a growing outbreak of foot and mouth disease affecting the country's cattle industry. Authorities say the disease has spread rapidly in recent months, affecting nearly 300,000 animals and forcing farmers to cull more than 120,000 cattle in efforts to limit transmission. The outbreak has already triggered export bans from countries including China and Zambia, raising concerns over potential losses to the livestock sector and disruptions to meat and dairy supplies. And thousands of people have taken to the streets of Madrid to mark International Women's Day, with demonstrations calling for gender equality and stronger protection of women's rights. Large crowds filled major avenues in Spanish capital, carrying purple banners and feminist flags while chanting slogans during the annual march. Organizers say the demonstration formed part of the global 8M movement, which mobilizes protests each year on March 8. Participants highlight concerns over discrimination, gender violence, and political threats to women's rights. While thousands of people also gathered at the Amani Stadium in Zanzibar for one of the island's largest communal iftar meals during the holy month of Ramadan, Muslims and non-Muslims assembled at sunset to break the daily fast together, creating a large community gathering at the stadium complex. Organizers say the annual event reflects the spirit of unity and charity that defines Ramadan observances across the region. The gathering has become one of the most significant communal iftar events of the island. And we'll return in a moment on Network Africa with more stories across the continent. Welcome back. We're here in Lagos now, where the Deputy Governor, Kadri Hamzat, has urged youths to take proactive steps towards shaping their future by staying focused on developing practical solutions to societal challenges. The Deputy Governor gave the advice at the Ibile Youth Academy 2025-2026 one-day leadership summit in Ikeja. He reaffirmed the state government's commitment to international leadership development for young people.
2025-2026 Ibile Youth Academy one-day leadership summit with the theme From Potential to Power, Equipping Youth for Leadership in a Changing Lagos. The Lagos State Deputy Governor, Kadri Hamzat, the State Head of Service, Olabode Aguru, former Head of Service, Hakeem Muriokola, and other state officials joined the Ministry of Youth and Social Development at the Adeyemi Bero Auditorium to educate the youth from the 5 divisions of the state on leadership qualities and nation building.
In this center of governance, let it remind us that governance is strongest when young people are prepared to lead with competence and character. I encourage you all to engage actively, network intentionally, and commit yourselves to lifelong learning and service.
Align with Mr. Governor's Teams Plus agenda, which ensures social inclusion and gender equality. We now live in a new story of youth leadership, a new story of global competitiveness, a new story.
Other speakers also admonished the youth to maximize opportunities given to them and prepare intentionally for the future.
Youth development is not an afterthought, it's a priority. It's an investment in future. Ibile Youth Academy is here to stay. It is now the responsibility of the new leadership to take it to the next level. Leadership is discipline. Leadership is preparation when no one is clapping. You cannot demand a great Nigeria if you are not building yourself to lead one. So this room is full of people building themselves, positioning themselves to lead a nation that is the biggest black nation in the world.
The Deputy Governor calls on the younger generation to commit to lead with integrity and serve with compassion towards unlocking the state's potential for growth and development.
As a people, we cannot measure wrong things. We must measure the right things. People will say to you, oh, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that. But they will tell us that our education is bad. But UK is recruiting our doctors. So the education is bad. They are recruiting your teachers. They are recruiting our nurses. Our banks are losing staff, IT staff going to Canada all over the place. Don't let people define us. This is a great country.
The Ibile Youth Academy has grown into a formidable platform for grooming young leaders, and another group of 10 future leaders selected from across the 5 divisions of the state is unveiled by the Deputy Governor.
Everything you have been taught at the Ibile Academy, good luck and see you at the finish line.
50 of those who emerged as winners from the divisional training program will take part in the boot camp for Ibile Youth Academy, a leadership training program designed to equip young people in the state with skills and values for nation building.
Staying in Nigeria, the Independent National Electoral Commission in Lagos State has taken its register to vote awareness campaign to Tejosho and Makoko fish markets on the mainland. In leading the team of INEC top management staff and workers, the resident electoral commissioner Professor Ayobami Salami said the campaign was another step to sensitize eligible residents to participate in the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise.
This outing by the resident electoral commissioner of INEC in Lagos State, Professor Ayobami Salami, and his team serves as an opportunity for the electoral umpire to inform the people about the need to get registered. This public sensitization tagged Register to Vote brings the INEC team to the Tejosho market, which receives thousands of visitors daily.
In the 21st election, but we are more than 80 years.
31.
From the Tejosho market, the team moves to the Makoko market, still in the Yaba area in Lagos Mainland Local Government Council. They arrive and continue the sensitization by speaking directly to traders about the importance of getting registered. After the exercise, the Lagos State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Professor Salami, says himself and other members of staff of INEC decided to reach the grassroots rather than stay in the comfort of their offices.
It's our intention not to leave every eligible voter behind, and therefore we have decided to move close to the grassroots, rather stay in the comfort of offices and then preach the message. So we have brought the message down to the people in their places of work, their abode, and where they are in their place of comfort.
He equally seizes the opportunity to address misconceptions about the adjusted election timetable.
We were in Tejuso market, now we are in Makoko, and that's part of what we are telling them, to let them know that there is a new electoral timetable. Initially, the election was to start in February next year, but now we are starting the presidential election on January 16th, and then the gubernatorial on February 8th.
Some Lagos residents also share their thoughts about the continuous voter registration exercise ahead of the 2027 general election.
So everything hard for everybody. So now they don't increase fare again. All these things tire people to come outside and vote for anybody now. But may God help us.
People that haven't collected their voter, I advise them to go out and collect their voters card. So to go and register and collect their voters card. That's my message for them.
This is the second phase of the continuous voter registration, which started on the 5th of January and will come to an end on the 17th of April 2026. With this extra effort by INEC, Nigerians hope that it leads to more participation by the electorate and reduced voter apathy during the 2027 polls.
That's Network Africa Today. Thank you for watching. I'm Joke Rogers.